pretty badass. You can say badass without being technically bad. I don't think it's technically a bad word. If it shows up in animated films that kids go see, you can get away with it. I think I saw it in Shrek, so we're good. But man, I mean, the self-defensiveness is kind of wild. Some of the parents were very, you know, we're cool, you know, let's get together, let's communicate. And they mentioned playtime for the kids. This is something that makes a ton of sense, but didn't really occur to me, even really throughout my childhood too much. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, dirt roads, Arizona, dirt roads, you know, and I had friends who hailed from different parts of the country and therefore left during the summer to catch up with their family. And that left me in the middle of the desert with, you know, not too many people to kick it with. I'm telling you, man, I still get this feeling I got bugs on me. Excuse me. I don't know if I can get away with some of these nose deals. Is this too much? See, there's an etiquette to it that I'm still trying to master. But, I don't know. I keep saying that, but it just doesn't resonate with me. I guess that's the thing. Imagine you're a part of a big crew of people. Imagine as a dude, it's kind of like being, okay, you're probably a dude or female, or you're wanting to be or have been either one. You know, gender is something that, with technology being what it is, and the advancement of thought being what it is, and understanding of self, or at least, I guess, the perpetuation of one's sense of self, we can actually, you know, as they say, bend genders. So I don't mean to, you know, lump you into one group and the other necessarily, but for the most part, we're born one way or the other, for the most part. And I assume that even if you're not, you're born as you are within a sexual context or a gender context, and therefore, what comes with that, of course, is the trappings of that gender. And so you have, for instance, you have the guy's role in greater society, which includes, you know, bringing home the money, being machismo, loving football in America, or loving football in Europe and the rest of the world, or certainly not being the biggest badminton fan. You know, it's not going to help you out in your machismo status if you're just a huge volleyball fan. I love volleyball, unless you're a beach type, and you can get away with that. You know, you can't. Badminton, I guess, is probably the best example. You can't really get away with that. I mean, you can get away with table tennis better than you can badminton, which is a shame because it's a reflex game, and I always enjoy those. But anyway. It's kind of like that with the only child for me. You know, I check out these forums that are not heavily populated, and I don't know if it's because the woman mentioned she had been kicking it in the forum for a while, and she had been what she called hovering. I guess that's a term that people use, and it makes a lot of sense. But she had not actually input anything until she was really, I guess, feeling a sort of yearning. She mentioned loneliness, and she, at one point, she mentioned that she didn't want. You know, she said, I guess it's not that I'm an only child that I'm feeling. So I'm feeling depressed was the term she used. And it has nothing to do with being an only child. I think it has more to do with just being a person who is not where she wants right now in life. And my job is this, my job is that. But she concludes the entire stanza with, I don't know, I just wish I had some friends. And then she said, e.g., brother or sister. So the implication is that you can always call I think perhaps only children idealize what the sibling relationship really is. And I don't know what that is, and I don't know what the idealization, if there is a general idealization, but I think the idea is that you can always run to your sibling because he or she just knows what you're feeling and really knows how it works. And perhaps the reason I've been traditionally less, you know, interested in the sibling relationship is because A, I have a lot of friends, and perhaps that's the way I as an only child have coped with the inherent, I'll say, lonesomeness, not loneliness. I don't find myself, and maybe it's out of defensiveness, but I have never really found myself, I don't feel myself really drawn to feelings of loneliness. That said, I am a big fan of island living, which is kind of it's a more, I'd say it's
it's a bureaucratic challenge, the wise men say, to simplify business and to increase their trade. Money, goods, and men moving freely. A pretty good idea, but is it that simple really? A heart of concrete containing the norms and all the...
I always admire the people who learn English as a second language and really rock it. This is a very well written album. It's very earth friendly, as am I. You know, I think. Let me finish. I'll finish. I'm sorry. I'm speaking to myself here because, mind you, I'm watching this on the computer with you. At some point, getting to what I was talking about. Veruca Salt, bad example. I don't think it necessarily holds, and I certainly hope it doesn't because that's an annoying person. And it's an unfortunate person that has much more, in my opinion, to do with the parents than anything inherent in that child or person. Done. The other one would be, I don't understand I think only children have bought into this sense of loneliness that people kind of throw, well, maybe it is automatic for them. Maybe I'm just not, I like island life, but what that means is that I've kind of given in to the luxuries of not having siblings, not having friends, not with you at all times anyway, not always having to be with someone. That includes doing what I'm doing now. If I had a sibling right now, I'd have to explain this. I would likely have a sibling who, well, let's assume a best case scenario. Best case scenario, my sibling goes, oh, is that what you're doing? You're going out to the woods and doing what? With music and what? And then they love it. Best case scenario, they're like, that's fantastic. I love that idea. It's fantastic. Roll with it. Rock it. Can I join you? No. That's not how things feel. Now, were I to have been raised with a sibling, I might be like, dude, let's do this together. And I might have done that from the get-go, at which point my sibling's opinion of my idea and the prospects become really important, because what do I, as someone who considers his idea in the context of another person, I know that my wife thinks I'm just really, really vague. I don't mean to be, but I am trying to be all-encompassing. The point is, if I were to say, dude, let's go do this, and that person, that dude or dudette, said, no, I don't feel like it, I'm busy, or not today, where does that leave me? Do I go forward and do I do it? And then at that point, what are the repercussions of doing a joint venture by yourself? There's just a number of things to consider that I don't have to consider. I just don't have to consider it. So, anyway, my point is, what that's done for me, which might be, you know, a defense mechanism on my part, a coping mechanism on my part, is I've enjoyed the island life. I've enjoyed what it affords me, which is days in the park by myself, just kicking it. You know, I don't have to do anything that I don't want to, that I don't personally, internally feel like doing. And that's just a real advantage for me, I think. So, yeah, there's that. Now, after that, I was gonna go somewhere else. Thing is, you guys have this recorded and can go back. I can't. I don't remember exactly where I was.